Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do start, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of things have happened. We had Deku, and we also had Ironheart. Ironheart revealed herself to the world, and she has been trying to make a name for herself. Deku, he found her and wanted to talk to her. However, she thought Deku was going to try and talk her into giving up the armor, like what War Machine did to her. Now, Deku had to save her whenever her suit almost ran out of power. He gave her a jump start, and then he tried to give her some advice, which actually did surprise her. Deku, he'd be a hypocrite trying to get her to turn this thing over to S.H.I.E.L.D. or anybody involved with Iron Man. So, he tried to give her advice. Use enemy tech she does get from the battlefield, reverse engineer it, and implement it as an upgrade for your armor, for your suit. Use the material and find out what you can do. If you adapt the threat into your armor, you can better understand that threat. Understand different ways to use that tech yourself. And before the two can continue their conversation, Detroit Steel attacked Deku. And the two, they had quite the battle. She attacked him for the pettiest reason imaginable, and caused arguably way more property damage than Deku did. Now, Deku had to go in retreat, telling Friday an emergency phrase which sent him back to the armory, since Shockwave showed up and backed up Steel, meaning he was in a corner. Now, Deku is happy he's not dealing with that psycho, because she was going to cut him out of his armor with a chainsaw. Now, Deku, he told Friday one simple thing. Whatever he has in the Mark 2.1, double it, because that armor needs to be protective. Now, Friday, she doesn't understand, and Deku, he finally does it to take out the armor. With the way Steel acted, he's got to take more precautions. This thing was already pretty large and bulky with what he did to it. However, now instead of it being like an Iron Man suit, it looks a bit more like a well, it's not a Hulkbuster, but let's see. Forearms are double in size. Everything else looks a little bit bigger. It doesn't even look like the same suit anymore. Though, modifications. Then I took his mind. This thing, it focuses solely on unibeam and repulsor power. It does have missile systems and even better piloting systems. However, it is still a bit of an energy drainer. So, the solution for that? Simple. Put in a secondary power source. This thing, it could eat up power if Deku's not careful, though it is made to counter the other's armors. So, if they do attack him, he'll be ready. In fact, he should be better than ready. I mean, this is his heaviest hitting suit at the moment. It's built to take them on. Though, that's the main issue. He's tried to... Okay, Shockwave. His tech is relatively hard. No, not hard. Moderate to understand. Though, the idea of sound dampening weapons, it's something. Okay. Let's just hope everything goes according to plan. It won't, will it? That ran through his mind, and currently he does it to take off. Now, he wants to test out this new suit, understand its capabilities, and see what it can do. And everyone, when they do get to see Iron Man flying overhead, they see a proper Iron Man. The suit is bigger, and I mean, that's easy to tell. Now, War Machine, he currently does it to get an alert. His suit informing him that Iron Man has been seen, and he currently does it to try and track Deku down. Him flying through the air and putting the suit through its paces. Right now, him going to make a sharp turn around a building, bringing his hands out, and going to actually fire out. Him going to quickly move to the left and blast out fast, curling the jets on his back, allowing him to move faster. And Deku, he's quite intrigued. Okay, so he's not really losing speed, but he has lost agility. Right. Well, okay, so the extra repulsors and jets do allow him to move. Okay. He does have better speed, though the modifications on the form of the gauntlets, they should allow him for maximum output. Right. Though, hmm, no. The thigh area, if he's going to put more thrusters, allow this one to move faster. He already has the ones on his back, but 4, 5, 6. Okay, so he's got 6 thrusters moving him right now, but where he's actually on the ground battling, his limbs, they were heavy before, but with the added thrusters in the forearms, yeah, he should be good. Now, someone currently doesn't fly down. Them at least trying to ask if he has a new suit. And Deku doesn't turn his head. Him bringing his hands up, and actually someone going to slow down. Him going to float there and hover in the air, as War Machine is going to fly in front of Deku. And the two, they're actually getting more similar in size. And he's a little worried about that. Made some modifications. Yeah, I did. After my last encounter, I did have to. Did you find anything out? Yeah. Listen, I want to send over some data. Would you allow it? Now, Deku would tell Rhodey. He would. However, how about they set down somewhere? And Rhodey, he does go to agree. The two flying to the top of a building, and then going to land. Deku actually going to see some data pop up on his screen. Him looking through it and telling Friday to search for anything in the background that could be bugged or seen as a red flag. And Friday does do some things. While she's doing that, Deku looking at the data on screen. And he does see it. Clayton Wilson and Lancaster Shed? Who are these two? They're the pilots for the armors. Okay. Anything on Titanium Man? No. And you find that funny? I'm pretty sure it's still Justin Hammer. I don't think he hired anyone to pilot that suit. Right. And the Detroit Steel pilot? Yeah, data's secure on her. It's not good. Haven't found anything. Really? Yeah. Whatever she's involved with must be some pretty big stuff. Because Hammer is hiding it well. Right. Are you sure it isn't just an AI? Like a robot? It's possible. She attacked me unprovoked the other day. And she was determined to fulfill her objective. What do you mean? To the very letter. Take down crime. Take down Iron Man. How do you fulfill that to the simplest goal? You take the man out of the iron. In a way, yes, but it's not the time for jokes. I'm just saying. After everything that I've encountered with her, she's crazy. Unhinged. It could be that Justin Hammer is trying to keep her identity secret for many reasons. Right. But still, these two could be a problem. Deku turning to Rhodey. And Rhodey, he does see Deku's helmet. Him going to express. It's not just that. He encountered another person wearing armor. And this armor, it was actually homemade. Similar to how his was at first. And Rhodey does a stare on Deku. Seriously? Great. Right now, him bring his hands up as his faceplate does get open. Him asking, so, let him guess. He's got a partner in all this? No, actually. Listen, I know you're skeptical about me and you don't trust me, but you have to work with me. You're right about that. Listen, kid, you've got a gift. I'll give you that. But are you sure you really want to be a hero? I've seen your work over the last couple months. It's been good. It's been better than what I've expected. But being a hero is more than just the suit of armor. Sometimes you gotta make decisions you don't want to, make choices. And some of them can be bad. I know. I understand the responsibility given to me. I just want to help. Now, Rhodey, he does see Deku. Currently, him sending over data about Ironheart and talking about it. This person could be a potential asset of theirs. If they get her help, then she could be another hero on their side, not involved with Stark Industries or Hammer Industries. And that does mean quite a bit. Now, while these two are talking, they wanted to track them down. And currently, they do get a land. As right now the two do that turn, seeing Titanium Man. Him gonna stand there and step forwards, expressing, he's so happy to have found them. They won't believe exactly how sorry he is about his associate attacking Iron Man. And Deku, he does get a turn. Good, at least someone doesn't call him fucking Iron Lad. Jesus. Now, right now, Detroit still does a step forwards, expressing. He will say this, though. He's not too sure how he feels about the redesign. Though, it doesn't look like he's drawing inspiration from Iron Man. I mean, he's closer in size, but it looks more like he's taking the designs from him. He's not mad. Though if he did want to at least join the squad, he can have an opening. Though there will be some measures taken. He would understand. And Deku, he does stare at Titanium Man, trying to express. Actually, his upgrades are his own. Though, well, Titanium isn't the best armor, is it? Now, the man will go to turn to Rhodey, expressing to him, he's here to talk to James Rhodes about a security breach that happened in his mainframe. And he would like to know if there's anything he'd like to confess. Now, Rhodey will go to tell him. In fact, there's a few things he should probably confess, especially because he has two wanted men piloting his suits. And it's possible that Detroit Steel is also a wanted individual. Her identity isn't even on file. Now, Titanium, he does it a frown under his suit. Right now, him telling him. That is, well, private information. They're given a chance to redeem themselves, and they've done excellent work as superheroes. It should be given to them. A chance to be better? I mean, he can agree, a second chance is always good. I mean, even Tony Stark got his own second chance. Now, Rhodey does his own scowl, telling him not to bring Tony into this. And the man will go to express. Well then, they have a clear understanding. Though he does want those files back. It is crucial he does have them. Right now, Deku gonna get an alert from Friday. Him gonna turn as Shockwave and Force, the two do actually land onto the building. And Deku is a turn to Rhodey, the man understanding what's happening. And this doesn't look too good. Now, Deku, he does stare down at Titanium Man, and the man, he is ready for a fight. In fact, that's why they came here. Throw around some force and show they're the better people in suits. That hammer tech is better than anything Stark could build. Now, Deku's annoyed. Him expressing to Rhodey what the game plan is here. And Rhodey tells him quite plainly. The game plan was to get away. However, it looks like they're going to have to actually fight. Can he take on Titanium? I should be able to. Though this also is going to be an opportunity to actually test the suit properly. Put it through combat prowess. Alright, kid. Hope you can handle it. Though if you do get into some trouble, get away. Understood. Deku facing Titanium Man. And the man, he wants to see what this boy can do. Deku bringing up both of his hands and sending out two powerful blasts from them. As right now Titanium does get to bring his hands up. Him expressing, that's not going to work. As right now a force shield is created around him. And Deku, he's going to watch on. Since that tech belongs to Shockwave. And Titanium, he does talk about it. He had to make some upgrades of his own to get around a few problems with the suit. Though it is still pretty powerful. He will grant him that. It's got a lot inside. Right now Titanium brings his own hands up, sending out blasters Deku, as Deku, he has actually got his own fly forwards. Him bringing his hands up and sending out his own blast, countering those attacks as right now Titanium does a fly forwards as well. And Deku, where he's flying into his Titanium, the man's a grab on a Deku. The two actually going to somewhat fight for superiority as their tech is trying to do its best. Now, Deku can hear the sounds of machines whirling in his head, and he can hear the suit. Right now Titanium trying to get superiority, as Deku, his armor is actually pushing him back. And Deku going to tell Friday, activate all thrusters. Right now the thrusters on the back of his forearms boosting forwards, as Deku's fist to go smashing further into Titanium Man's suit, and he actually starts to fly backwards with the man. The two smashing into the wall, trying to let Deku go tumbling down. Deku actually going to bring back his right arm, as he doesn't have the suit deactivate the thruster and force it back forwards, smashing his fist directly up into Titanium Man's face. Now, the two are flying down, and Deku, he doesn't let go and activate his air brakes. Right now him being thrown backwards as he has to throw his hands down. Right now the suit informing Izuku about a few things. And Deku does tell Friday, mark them down and put them on the side. And that is what Friday does understand. And Deku, he has to stare down at Titanium Man, who does go to smash down to the ground for he has a turn, getting back up, looking up, and flying at Deku at high speeds. And Deku, he has to throw his hands down. Him sending out blast as Titanium Man, his shields are going to block them. Him flying up, smashing into Deku as Deku is smashing into the shield. Him being sent flying up into the air as the two do begin their own proper battle. Deku flying backwards and bringing those hands up. Him blasting out towards Titanium as the man, he does then send out his own systems. Him going to activate his rockets as he has to send missiles out towards Deku. And Deku, he has to tell Friday, send out counters. And Friday doesn't understand. Her system's picking up on everything, and then going to deploy flares. Now, Deku, he's going to fly up into the air. And there actually is Rhodey. Rhodey, he is trying to deal with Shockwave and Force. And Force, he's definitely very surprised. He gets to fight War Machine. And this should be good. Rhodey, however, he's not happy about any of this. And currently, he does try to tell both of these two to stand down. Otherwise, things might get messy. And they don't really care. They get to take on this guy. And they've already thought about running off with his tech. Hammer Industries, not that good. So hey, why not take him down and do what they can? Maybe wait till they get some more upgrades or until they're handed something particularly sweet. Now, currently, Shockwave, he has to fly forwards, boring his hands out and trying to actually concuss War Machine, wanting to shake him around in that armor. And then actually War Machine does bring his hands up. Him sending out missiles, flying to get Shockwave. And Force, he has to fly forwards. Him flying to get past Shockwave and bringing his own hands up. Him creating a shield, actually to protect them from the explosion. However, the two are sent flying backwards by the concussive force. And right now, they do go to actually stand there, bring their hands up and about blasting out at War Machine. And War Machine, he does bring his own hands up, sending out his own blast as the energy just gonna collide. And War Machine, he does at least increase the power of his suit. Him sending it out, smashing into the two. And the two, they're a lot more alarmed. And there currently is Deku. Deku is still trying to face off against Titanium Man. And Titanium, yeah. He's trying to keep Deku at a distance, take him down, and see what he can do. But Deku, he's already thought about trying to hack into the man's suit, see if he can take him down that way, and whether or not this guy really is as smart as he does think he is. He's assuming that this is Justin Hammer. It must be Justin Hammer. If it's not, then it's going to cause problems. Because who could be in the suit? Who could be the pilot? Hammer wouldn't trust anyone with that damn suit. So, that currently going through Deku's mind. And Deku, he's gonna fly in. Right now him attacking right into Titanium Man as the two, they are sent flying through the air. Deku pulling back and smashing him across the face. As right now Titanium Man is gonna bring his own hand up. Him grabbing at Deku's helmet and clocking him across the head. And Deku, he's gonna tell Friday. Right now, he wants to know if it would be possible. And Friday will go to inform him. Possibly not. However, Deku, he has to at least start heating up his hands. Him blasting right into Titanium Man as he does get to hold on. And he actually activates the Unibeam. Right now, it smashed right into Titanium Man as Titanium Man is sent flying backwards and smashing onto the ground. And Deku, he currently to land down. Him going to do so as Titanium Man does get back up. Currently, his armor warm. And Deku, he is a bit more impressed. The man has a shield, and he's not using it right now. But he used it earlier. Okay, so, what would he do if he was Titanium Man? Why wouldn't he activate it? It must be... No. It's not short range. If they can make it for Shockwave's suit, they can make it for his. He'd probably even have a better version of it. Right. So, let's see. Deku trying to think. Telling Friday. Scan for systems that become active when shield is active. And keep parameters open. He wants to know if there's any fluctuation inside of his suit. And Friday does understand. Her making a sense Deku to bring his hands up, blasting out towards Titanium Man. Him gonna actually bring his hands up and create a wall. Deku, a lot more surprised as Friday does begin her scanning. And Deku, he's wondering. He got too close. If he activated it, he would have been inside the bubble. So, it must have not been worth the expenditure. Right. So he needs to be a close-range combatant in order to avoid the shield. Perfect. Huh. Looks like he did find a way around Shockwave. Though, he was mainly concerned about expenditure of more energy. Deku telling Friday, 20% increase. We're gonna do so. And Deku, he actually does feel his suit buckle a little bit behind the force. Him blasting out harder as Titanium Man, he actually is trying to keep his shield active. And Deku, he does ask Friday if her scans have showed up anything. And Friday does begin to pop up blueprints of the man's armor. Her beginning to at least tell Izuku where she's seeing energy being pulled more from. And that's where Deku, he has a somewhat smile, since he thinks he might know where this device could be in the armor. Him gonna actually drop the blast and fly forwards. Titanium Man seeing Deku, as ready as to bring his own hands up. Him having his Unibeam, gonna blast out energy towards Izuku. And Deku, he is going to fly forwards, tanking the attack as to fly in and his hands do to fly forwards. Both of them rocket propelled, smashed right into Titanium Man's chest. And Deku, he's gonna watch the man fly backwards. Him flying forwards and bringing his hands down, grabbing into Titanium Man as the two are dragging their way through the street. And Deku, he is going to pull back his fist, smashing Titanium Man over and over again in the body, before he actually does start activating his Unibeam, blasting a directly center mass at the man. Now, Titanium Man is feeling his armor heat up, And Deku does tell Friday, increase by 30%. And Friday does go to at least agree. And Deku, he is trying to burn a hole through the man's armor, take him down and make sure he can't do anything. But there actually is also Titanium Man, who does not bring up his hands, him grabbing Deku's armor and trying to rip chunks out of it. And Deku, he actually does get to do one thing. He does not bring his own hands up, grabbing onto Titanium Man's as he does start blasting energy down into the man's armor. And Deku, he currently is going to get the alert. Battery under 70%. And Deku would tell Friday, keep it on screen and continue the output. Her going to beep. And Deku, he actually does bring his head forwards, him telling Titanium Man, he's going to lose. He made the armor specifically to counter a lot of things, though he just wanted to test this out, since he did want to make sure he always had energy. Deku throwing his hand down directly onto his unibeam. And right now, there actually is where Titanium Man, he does start seeing a few things pop up. His armor beginning to alert him about an energy leak. And Deku, he is beginning to pour energy directly into his armor. And Titanium Man is going to do one thing. He's going to bring his hand up, putting it directly to Deku's face as they got a powerful blast. And Deku, he does feel his helmet take the attack. Him actually going to start feel his head get thrown around. Now, Deku, he's going to fly up into the air, him currently blasting up high as Titanium Man does look back up towards Deku. Him checking his armor's integrity. However, there is one problem. The chest piece has been heated, and it is bright. So, I'm going to bring up his hands, and going to do one thing. He tells his armor to eject secondary chest piece. It's going to actually make a sound as right now Titanium Man is to throw down the piece of technology. Deku flying up into the air and they're going to turn. Seeing right now as Titanium Man does to fly up towards him. And Deku, he's a bit more surprised. As Titanium Man does a smash on him and Deku does to throw his hand down, smashing directly into his chest piece, which is now covered in lighter armor. Now, the pilot inside is going to feel the force, them being tossed around a bit, as right now there actually is Riri Williams, who she does get to sit there in her garage, and she starts to hear about a few things. Right now on her phone, there is a live stream talking about a battle between Iron Man and Titanium Man, and she's a little alarmed hearing about this. Now, she currently does a turn, staring at her own armor and thinking about what to do. Her at least going to pop up the video and seeing a few things. And Iron Man, shit, that's a big suit. Okay, but could she take him on? Maybe. Could she help? Possibly. Riri, she does got to think about it for a sec. She is still trying to implement the weapons she took the other day into her suit, trying to also upgrade her battery supply. And it hasn't been easy. She's useless right now. Her suit's not operational without a bunch of the stuff she's trying to put in it. That in her mind. And there currently is Deku. Deku is using one simple strategy. Getting close and blast out as much force as he can. Don't allow Titanium Man to get away. Don't allow him to get distance. And that, in the end, ultimately does help Deku out. Since Titanium does have to go into retreat, whenever Deku, he heats up the area in the top of the torso, more closer to the head. Now, Deku does drain his batteries by about 40%, meaning he's only at 30% of battery life for the suit. And Deku, yeah, he's not having a lot of fun here. Currently, Titanium Man going to fly off as the armor, it actually is heating up more. And Deku, he wishes he could see that thing break down. Him going to turn and fly back up to War Machine. And War Machine has been doing very well against Shockwave and Force. The two trying to at least batter on damage and work together, working in tandem to try and take him on. But Deku does come flying in. Him, right now, going to actually smash directly into Force as he does going to actually take the man flying down. The two smashing down to the side of a building as Force will bring his hand up. Him turning to Deku and blasting out with his energy. As right now, he does look up and see nothing happening. Now, Deku would bring his hand down, grabbing Force by his torso, bringing his hand up, and chucking him down towards the ground. Him gonna watch Force smash down as he does it to fly down himself. Him gonna float there in the air, expressing to him, he built the suit to take him on. Don't take it personally. Besides, he'd say they should probably hang things up, retire, because otherwise it will not be pretty. He would recommend getting out of the armor before he does have to take him out of the armor. You know, besides, it's a 2v2, but things still aren't fair. They're using Hammer products. And the man, he made a design flaw somewhere. They'll just have to find it. Now, Forrest does look up. Him watching Deku smash down and stand there in front of him. Him the same size as Deku. Now, Deku would go to bring his hand down, and he actually started charging up a repulsor blast, telling the man, what will he do? Eject from the armor, or will he have to be taken in by force? And right now, force, he does think about that. Either that was a pun or a very poor play on words. So, let's see. Which is the better deal here? Maybe try to get away? No. Yeah, no, that would be the better idea. Currently, Forrest having his boots blast off. Deku watching him fly away as he brings his hands up. Him throwing them behind him and blasting out. Him run off flying at full speed down the block. And currently forces a flap into the air. Deku going to do so as well and chase after the man. Now, Deku, he doesn't bring his hands up. Him blasting out towards the man, trying to catch him. And Force, he does actually get to throw his hands down, blocking the attacks and making sure that Deku can't get in close. Before their actions, Deku does fly in and smash right into the shield, throwing his fist out into it as Force, he does actually have his shield overload. Now, the back of his suit does explode, and Deku does watch on, watching right on the man go flying down and bringing his hands down. Him trying to recover from the fall as he does land. Now, he does bring his hands down. Currently, him a lot more alarmed as he does a turn. Him ejecting from his suit as trying to fall forwards. Him actually going to try to grab his back. And Deku, he does going to actually see that. Him going to actually bend down and grab the man. Him at least going to scan the area for the injury. And currently Friday does show a report. Possible nerve damage, along with shrapnel in his spine. And the man, he currently does just don't sit there. Him shaking as his body is beginning to go into shock. And Deku, he does pick up the man. Him telling him to remain calm and to hand over control of the suit. Now, the man doesn't look up towards Deku. Him yelling about what happened. And Deku, he does see the man collapse. Him turning and looking around. And everyone's staring at Iron Man, since he might have just hurt a man beyond his extreme. Now, Deku, he does is going to start shouting about people to get an ambulance, as he has a turn. Him staring at the other suit as he is going to bend down, telling Friday to give him something he can use. And Friday does it to inform him. It's quite possible that he will have to use measures to keep the men alive. And Deku, he doesn't understand. However, there actually is a few people who do come running up to see the situation. Right now, Iron Man with his hands down and holding onto the man's wound. Him yelling out to somebody as they do come to run up. The person gonna bend down and at least ask what to do. And Deku, he does begin to repeat what Friday is telling him for a medical practice. Now, eventually, an ambulance does get to pull up. And Deku, he does watch the paramedics try and load this guy up. Them trying to ask Iron Man about what happened. And Deku, he does try to explain. That's the pilot of the Force suit. And he is a wanted criminal. Whatever happened is a malfunction of Hammer Industries tech. And that is an issue. And Deku, he currently does it a turn. Him bringing his hand up and telling Friday to take control of the suit. Her going to actually try and do so. And right now Deku, he doesn't bring his hands up. Him walking over to it as he does get a grab onto it. Him is trying to inform Friday about what to do. And Friday is currently trying to go through the code, trying to find her way through the back door. But Deku does inform her. Override security parameters and see what she can find. Make sure this thing can be taken down. And Friday, she doesn't understand. Currently the suit going to power back on. And Deku, here's a turn seeing that. It's going to turn to Deku and bring its hands up, trying to attack him. But Deku doesn't bring his own hand up. Him sending a blast, smashing the suit as it'll fall onto the ground. Him a lot more annoyed. Now, Deku, he currently does have a few ideas as to what to do with it. And he's concerned. The suit is... Right. Maybe take it in. Him stepping forwards and looking down at it. Okay. This is bad. Really bad. The man's in the hospital, going to the hospital right now, and his suit is... He can't leave this out in the open. Him bending down, grabbing the suit, and going to fly off with it. And currently people, they watch that a bit more alarmed. Deku flying to the top of a building and doing one simple thing. He tries to disable the suit from the inside. Him trying to take off the faceplate and mess with the tech in the actual suit. Now, Friday does gain control of it, and Deku does tell her quite simply what to do. Disable all security measures and possible tracking, and then override everything. Disable anything that could be considered a security risk. Afterwards, report back to the armory. And Friday, she does take control of the suit. Currently, it's going to stand as is a turn to Deku. It's bringing its hands up and going to blast off. And Deku, he does actually don't stand there. Him holding on to the faceplate of the force armor. And he's concerned. Whatever happened there, that was an overload? Malfunction? No. Those shields. The shield technology, it should have been working. Deku, he does ultimately head back to the armory, putting his heavy hitting suit on the charger. And he does need to make some repairs, but also figure out exactly what happened with Force's suit. Clayton Wilson, it was reported that he was a very, very dangerous individual. And he currently is in a SHIELD hospital, recovering, after exactly what Iron Man did to him. And people, they're a bit concerned. The footage shows him attacking and the man's back exploding. But that's where Deku's confused. Because he scanned the armor. He also scanned Titanium Man's. The man should have his shield generator in between the back of his chest, or, well, up in the small of his back. It's where Titanium Man's is. But the energy output in his suit, it wasn't in the back, it was in the front. The shield generator would just sit right under his unibeam. But this man's armor, the back of it exploded. It wasn't... Oh. Then on Deku's mind. And currently Deku, he does sit there hours later with a dismantled suit. Since he found evidence of sabotage. Justin Hammer. He is a smart man, a deceptive man, and an asshole, but definitely smart. The idea of his pilots turning on him and trying to use the tech for their own personal gain has crossed his mind. Because Deku, he's pretty sure he found the remains of an explosive device in the suit. And that is a very big problem. Now, Deku, he also currently to sit there. Him holding up a damaged shield generator. And that is an issue. This thing is interesting tech. Next level. The most advanced thing possibly in this armory right now. Deku walking over, setting it down and telling Friday. He wants her to decode all of this. And he wants her to make a 3D projection and allow him to understand this more. Find whatever she can online and compile it into audio files. Then tell him in the cliff notes what he could do to improve it. Afterwards, compile data and allow him to listen to it. Put it in his to-do list. Now, Friday doesn't understand. And Deku, he does look around. Him walking over and bringing his hand down, grabbing the arm of the armor and bringing it up. Him going to actually turn and set it down to the table. Since he does want to understand more about this tech. So, he'll dissect it later. Though, it will be interesting. That currently on his mind. And Deku, he does get to head home. As right now the Avengers, they heard about what happened. Somebody is seriously affected by what happened. Not just that, this is the second time this has happened. 2 people wearing armor got into a fight and there was property damage. People could have gotten hurt, and someone is currently in the hospital. So, they want to talk to Iron Man. They want to actually take him in for questioning. But War Machine is protecting that person right now. And it is a problem. And with that being said, let's currently cut over to Titanium Man, who, when they got back to Hammer Industries, they ejected from the armor. Currently, Sasha Hammer going to climb out and sit down. Her going to turn, as the armor, it is still somewhat smoldering. Right now, Justin walking forwards and holding a drink in his hand, asking his granddaughter exactly what happened out there. And currently Sasha's a turn, yelling about what exactly happened. Iron Man, he figured it out. And this is not good. She wanted to head back out and do things her way. But he hasn't stopping her. She told him before, the other suit is better. Allow her to continue her own work on it. Because this piece of tech, it's bad. She doesn't want to inherit his empire if this is what he does with his tech. She doesn't like what he's done before. And she'd rather like her own pilot. Now, she has a turn, looking at the armor and she's going to walk out. Her with a lot on her mind. And currently she's trying to recompose herself. Her going to leave Hammer Industries, since she wants to head home and work on her own personal suit. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.